Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and welcome to a best of one Secrets of Strixhaven sealed qualifier play-in event. We're going to be playing until we get at least 6 wins or 2 losses, whichever comes first, and the goal is to get those 6 wins to qualify for the upcoming Qualifier Weekend, which is an event that will be some more Secrets of Strixhaven sealed if we manage to win a ton of rounds of Secrets of Strixhaven sealed over the course of 2 days. Then we get to qualify for an upcoming Arena Championship or Pro Tour event. But the main goal today, as always with these qualifier play-ins for me, is to just convert some play-in points into some gems that we can use in any kind of event. Because play-in points are points that you can only use in qualifier play-in events, and you get them at the end of each month for being top 1500 Mythic, or by, it might be top 1200 Mythic, I'm not 100% sure, or by winning traditional draft events, best of 3 draft events. So we've got 43 play-in points, so we're just going to play a couple of these runs and see how many gems we can get out of them. If I qualify for the upcoming qualifier weekend, we'll play in that as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bust open these packs, see what we get to play with today. All right, 7 rare sealed pool, not bad. We've got Professor Delian Fell and Bletch for a couple pretty strong Witherbloom rares. We've got Antiquities on the loose for our strongest mono-colored rare, some decent Prismari cards as well, a Traumatic Critique and a Prismari, so a lot of directions we could go. They are a little bit scattered all over the color pie here. We've got all 5 different colors of rares, so we'll have to see based on our commons and uncommons, which colors look the best to put together. Check out our colorless and multicolored here. We do have a Potioner's Trove and a Terramorphic Expanse for mana fixing we could put into any deck to help try to splash in some of these rares and play 3 different colors maybe. Probably not quite enough fixing to go 5 colors unless something like green has a ton. Which it looks like Quandrix does. We have 2 copies of Proctor's Gaze and a Paradox Surveyor, which are all going to help us get lands. Paradox Surveyor, not as much. It looks the top 5, but Proctor's Gaze really grabs whatever basic land you need at the time. So some really good Quandrix fixing. Quandrix in general looks pretty decent based on these multicolored cards. Moving on to Lorehold, we've got Great Removal. We have the Relic Sloth. If we have a lot of cards that care about cards leaving the graveyard, then this is a consistent way to trigger them. Cards like Spirit Mascot here will get that +1/+1 counter every turn off of the Relic Sloth's ability, so that's nice too. So pretty good Lorehold stuff as well. A couple more cards, the Pursue and the Charm. We've got a lot of Witherbloom as well, which looks really good because, of course, we've got our rares there too. The Professor Delian Fell, the Bletch Loafing Pest, and then we have decent cards like Lewin, a couple great removal spells, double grapple with death. So really nice Witherbloom stuff. Prismari looks pretty good too. Traumatic Critique, Prismari, and a Vibrant Outburst for really exciting cards. Abstract Paint Mage really depends on what else we have. But so far, Witherbloom looks the best. But Quandrix also looks pretty good. We've got a lot of Lorehold cards too. We're pretty spread amongst all of the different colleges of Strixhaven, which isn't ideal. The luckiest sealed pools, you're going to like clump up really heavily into a couple colors. Like if you open way more cards in 2 specific colors than anything else, it's going to be a pretty easy and pretty powerful sealed deck here. We're pretty spread out, but it does look like Witherbloom has the lead. Silver Quill, last but not least, does look decent. Inkling Mascot and a couple Silver Quill charms. Check out each color individually and see if we have some great support for our Witherbloom, hopefully, and if not, what are the other best colors in terms of our mono-colored cards. White looks pretty decent. Elite Interceptor, Hop to It, Antiquities on loose, these are all really good. Glyph Mage is pretty good. Debaters are okay. There's no removal out of the white, but the creatures are pretty good in that color. Checking out our blue, some really good card draw. Sleight of Hand Deduce, Stock Up being excellent. The creatures are pretty mediocre. Tester's the best of them. But I guess it's just a bunch of card draw really here. There's a couple bounce spells, but overall it's like 5 really good card draw spells. That's what blue gives us access to. Could be interesting as a splash color. Say we go Witherbloom and we want to play those Quandrix cards too. We could throw in a Stock Up and some other stuff maybe. But I don't think it's a good core color to a deck. All right, well, We don't have a lot of black cards, which is awkward for the potential Witherbloom deck, but if we do go like green, blue, and black, which is a possibility, this could still work out. And then with the blue mana fixing that can get us towards converging, this Arcane Omens could be a pretty powerful card as well. Make our opponent discard their entire hand. Red now, just a bunch of fine filler creatures. One of them's pretty good. I like the Soloist a lot, but the rest of these creatures are pretty dang filler. There's one removal spell of a Heated Argument. Not a huge fan of red, but it's got a decent quantity of cards, just not very high quality. And last but hopefully not least, we've got our green here, which does not have a lot of cards. And of the cards that we have, some of them are pretty dang bad, like Pick Your Poison, Glorious Decay, the Giraffes, which leaves us with like 5 cards. Okay, this is going to be an awkward one. This is going to be an awkward one. Look at each color again. This is what I was saying earlier about how you really want things to clump into 1 or 2 colors. And looking at our individual colors, it looks like each color is just a little bit light on cards. We have more cards in blue and red than anything else, but so many of them are just so filler, like the Strife Scholars and the Glass Rights. But maybe that would bring us to the Prismari deck. I really don't think I have good enough fixing to try to do Converge. Even if I did, I only have 1 card that actually converges. I only have the 1 Arcane Omens. I have 1 green-blue dual land, 1 Terramorphic, 1 Trove, and 1 blue-red dual land. Yeah, in terms of non-basic lands, we have very little fixing. We'd be heavily relying on these Proctor's Gazes and the Potioner's Trove. Be some difficult mana there. There's nothing in green that fixes. I mean, Zamone's Experiment looks at the top 5, but that doesn't search your library for the color you need. It has to be in the top 5 to work as fixing. Yeah, not in love. Not in love. Draw spells do help fix a tiny bit because you can dig pretty far with cards like Stock Up, but the rest of our draw spells, just looking at the top 1 or 2 cards, don't help that much. Draw spells are better at helping you make sure you hit your land drops, making sure you hit enough lands on curve. They're not good at letting you hit the right lands. There's a lot of multicolored Witherbloom cards here. Even if we don't have a lot of green and black individually, maybe we have enough multicolored to get it there. Let's see, I could play Expanse and Trove and pretty much anything. There's some Lorehold stuff here, but I don't like our red creatures that much, and we really need some pretty powerful creatures to curve out with if we're trying to play a more aggressive college like Lorehold. It's 5 less than enough playables if I only put the good Witherbloom cards in. It's just not a whole deck unless I put some really, really filler stuff in here. What about this Sultai pile? Playing some blue. I think this could be reasonable. Could run a Spectacle Summit just for the Arcane Omens. Might not be crazy. I mean, at that point, if I'm playing the blue as well, I think I might as well play a tiny bit of red. We'll have a Potioner's Trove, we'll have a Spectacle Summit, we'll have a Terramorphic Expanse, and 2 Proctor's Gaze. These are ways to get red mana. And then we can splash in the Traumatic Critique, because this is a card that is stronger the later you cast it anyway, so if you don't find the right color for it till super late, that's fine. So it's like a very reasonable splash if we're already playing blue. Just throwing that 1 mountain to tutor for. So we kind of are like a 4-color convergy pile, even if we don't have a lot of cards that specifically say converge. I think that works out fine. I don't really want to splash in Vibrant Outburst. That is a powerful removal spell, but that's one that's more like if you don't have the mana to cast until really late, it's not going to be nearly as helpful. Got a pretty low creature count here. We have 11 creatures if you count Sun and the Pests. I feel like if I'm not going to have like a really high creature count and a good mid-rangey curve, I might as well try to do things a little less focused on like being the Witherbloom life gain mid-range deck and just go all in on play as many colors and as many powerful cards as possible. Because these cards are like really low impact and individually. A little bit more Witherbloom. Could cut like all these and just put the strongest cards in the sealed pool in the deck. Cross our fingers the mana works out. The problem is the next strongest card we're not playing is the double white card. Trying to hit double white is a lot. Antiquities on the Loose is really, really good, but yeah, that double white is difficult. I could drop all this for a bunch more blue. Make Blash more of a splash, just splashing towards Professor, Bletch, and Grapple. Although Bletch, again, if we're not doing a full Witherbloom thing with a lot of life gain, does get significantly weaker. I just feel like we're running more than enough mid cards here that I'd rather like throw in a Vibrant Outburst and a Prismari and embrace the Paradox and just go really, really splashy. Let's see. We have Potioner's Trove, double Proctor's Gaze. No white dual lands, though. No white duals is crazy. I could just play a ton of card draw here. We're running a lot of good bombs, so running a bunch of card draw to draw them more often could definitely be the plan. Yeah, I've got more than enough blue spells to just throw in 4 more blue spells. Run behind to defend ourselves. Sleight of hand, deduce, quick study to find what we need. Mana's a little bit tough here, but all in all, probably worth it. I think this sealed pool just does not really have a great 2-color, really structured deck, so even though it doesn't have the greatest fixing either, this does look stronger to me than trying to go for a specific college. So I'm probably going to roll with this, but we definitely got to adjust that mana base some more. Burrog Barrage and Knockout Maneuver do look pretty awkward now because we're going very, very low on that creature count at this point. So these could be stuck in our hand a lot, unable to do anything. What could we swap out? Throw a Banishing Betrayal in instead of like Burrog Barrage. Then a late game Homesickness over a Knockout Maneuver. Not permanent removal, but temporary removal. And more card draw. Sure, play Homesickness over that. We have 13 blue cards and 9 green and 8 black. Those are the most important colors by far. 6 green sources. Make that at least 7 ideally. 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources. So 7, 7, and then 6 black. I don't think I need 6 black. Because blue and green can both help us find our other colors. Green more than anything because we have Proctor's Gazes in that color. But even blue, because we have so many early draw spells out of the blue, these are really important to make sure we keep hitting our lands and potentially get closer to the other colors by getting farther through the deck. Again, green a lot better at doing that, but blue is slightly helpful too. So I think it's really important to have those colors early. And then red, we need a single mountain so that we can tutor it out with Terramorphic Expanse and Proctor's Gaze. So 7, 7, 5, 3. Cross our fingers, hope to draw the right kind of mana here. Yeah, that's something. Another peek at everything. Honestly, probably play an 18th land here. We've got an Embrace the Paradox too. It's another card. Just be all card draw all day. I think I've got a lot of 3-mana stuff. I could at least like go Embrace over Quick Study here. But again, I'm looking at this Bletch and being like, when we're not a dedicated Witherbloom deck, really, that's only putting counters on itself. It's not even that strong. But I do need at least a few creatures, because we don't have a lot of ways to actually close out the game right now, especially if we're going below 5 creatures. So I guess I'm just going to leave them in here. Lewin is also a lot weaker in here than it would be in the like 10 creature Witherbloom deck that we had earlier, because we'll have less creatures in our grave to exile to make more pest tokens, but I put some amount of creatures in. Really not much when it comes to like better creatures than what we already have, though. Yeah. All right. Let's play some soup, see how far the soup can take us. We'll call it a deck here and hop into the gameplay. Excellent opening hand here for game 1. Sending the pest curves into the Bletch and immediately puts a counter on both. And then we have turn 4 Paradox Surveyor. I guess that's the only flaw with the hand. We do need to draw another forest or an island to play that Paradox Surveyor. Playing against Double Mountain into Thunderdrum Soloist, which pings us whenever they play an instant or sorcery. They discard a 3rd mountain. That many sources of any color, I highly imagine that their deck is just blue-red. Sleight of hand is the draw. They've got an Exhibition Tidecaller, which is going to mill us every time they cast an instant or sorcery. That's a pretty big issue, but can't do anything about it till we draw removal for it. Obviously, as soon as we have a way to kill it, we will. But that is a card that can easily mill us out. Whenever we hit the red source, we'll kill it as well. I'm perfectly happy to just Traumatic Critique it for 2, rather than holding on to this. There's Landscape Painter for our opponent. So the Landscape Painter next turn can cast its Vibrant Idea as a 5-mana sorcery to make us mill 10, which would be absolutely deadly. So I might have to run behind here, considering that's the only interaction that I have right now. Just so they can't immediately use that next turn. I could also cast the Paradox Surveyor and desperately hope one of our 3 red sources is in the top 5. But even if I do that, I'm guaranteeing I mill 10 next turn, which would be quite devastating. Okay, I'm going to run behind the Landscape Painter here. They could have a Disdainful Stroke, or... Let's see, Vibrant Idea is actually a sorcery, so it's better to do it in their upkeep. Because I think anything they have that could counter run behind, they could do for only 2 mana. Disdainful Stroke, or the uncommon that counters instants and sorceries for only 2, or the Spell Pierce that would do it for 1. Yeah, I mean, Spell Pierce would get us regardless. Obviously, they already had Spell Pierce mana up. But now they can't afford to play their 5-mana instant or sorcery this turn, because we waited to do it until their upkeep. If we did this during our turn, they would have then untapped and milled us 10, and that would have been absolutely devastating. So we did still delay them a turn here. And then technically, because this is a sorcery, I should have waited till their draw step. I think we have priority to, like, they draw the card and then we cast it before they can do their thing. Proctor's Gaze will work as well. We'll do it at the same time because they've already got their blue up. Oh, they punted. I wasn't even paying attention to our damage yet. Because because I was like, okay, Proctor's Gaze is a good draw. Make sure we put the stop there before we do anything, and then send in the attack. I didn't even realize, wait a second, the attack is 10 damage, so they just accidentally attacked too hard. They could have left like Soloist up as a chumper there, and they'd have been fine, but all right, well, Bletch already earned his spot on the deck. Bletch won us a game, so we'll take that. We are 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are on the play for game 2 with a completely creatureless hand, very slow one here just setting up, so we're hoping our opponent did not open a great 2-color aggressive sealed pool. That's Silver Quill right there, one of the most aggressive colors, and they've got the 2-mana 3/1 on curve, so this is not looking good for our heroes. Yep, still just 2 colors of lands, plains and swamps. There's the Strixhaven Sky Coach. Is this going to grab a plains or a swamp, or do they actually have a 3rd color? Okay, I almost would have preferred if they grabbed a 3rd color, because them grabbing just another swamp means they're a dedicated 2-color deck, which is very scary. Could Arcane Omens them for 3, but I can also embrace the Paradox here off of this Potioner's Trove. There's Conciliator's Duelist. Each player loses life and they draw a card when they play it. Every time they target something, they can flicker it, draw another card, or flicker the Sky Coach, get another land. Very powerful rare, also very beefy creature. They've been curving out 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop to beat down. It's a super, super, super bad position. I think I need to embrace here, go to 10. Get the mana to go for Homesickness to slow them down, maybe. I could run behind the Sky Coach and just take 3. No card draw this turn. But also no life gain because it's not blue off of my lands. I think I gotta embrace here. Okay. Grapple with Death is a good draw. Just fully kill the Duelist here. Also do have a Dramatic Critique up. Now that I have blue, I could play that off the Trove. If I go 1, 2, 3, then I also have the 3 mana up for Run Behind, as well as the ability to gain life off the Trove. Seems like the best I can defend myself here. Blow that up and have a Run Behind up. 2. I think I pass and I gain the life off Trove this turn. Because that means I could Run Behind or Traumatic Critique, whichever seems like it'll be better for me. Probably Run Behind. Because they could have combat tricks to buff that above 2 toughness. Oh, well, if they're going to do that, then it's Traumatic Critique, I think. They're going to hit our Arcane Omens here, probably. Let's discard the Newt. And we'll see what they want to make us discard. Probably Arcane Omens, otherwise they're going to have 1 card in hand here. Yep. Hey, Professor Delian Fell. Seems good. Really tempted to just run him out here and blow up the Docent. I'm just gonna do it.
My job is to teach.
Let me just draw a card every turn. Delian's really good with Potioner's Trove because we have to lose life every time that we're drawing cards, but we just gain it back with Potioner's Trove. Emeritus of Truce. 3/3 and a 1/1 flyer. And Shattered Acolytes. Just gonna go wide here. Exile the Docent. Get some surveilling going. How does Emeritus get its Swords to Plowshares? Never again, just when it enters the battlefield, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. I guess I've got enough cards in hand here. I could just juice up Delian. Delian plus 2s and gains life to help stabilize. think that's reasonable. Make Delian harder to kill. And make us harder to kill because we're going to be at a ton of life.
This will only sting for a moment.
Little Death Toucher. Barog Banemaker. Render Speechless. Grab whatever you want. They are buffing the flyer here, so had we not buffed Delian, Delian would be dead this turn. Very happy with that decision. Delian goes to 1.
I'm not impressed.
They're going to blow up the Potioner's Trove. Fair enough. Proctor's Gaze is going to make sure we've got all our colors regardless. Stock up's the draw, but I really got to kill this flyer, so let's do so. Proctor's Gaze on the flyer. Find our red. Buff this Delian. Pass.
The right spell turns poison to medicine.
They play their land for turn. Removal spell on Lewin. Send the squad at Delian. Put Delian to 1.
Remedial at best.
Grapple plus stock up here. Deals with their board. Or not stock up, run behind. And then we just start drawing cards because we're at 20 now.
Learn something useful.
Do it while they're tapped out. I'm actually not sure if there is a hexproof trick in white in this set. I feel like there's got to be at least one, but it might be some weird mystical archives thing that's really not a frequent card to show up. Forum Necroscribe. Ooh, if they target any of our stuff, that's going to be super, super bad. So let's stock up and see if we find a way to deal with that. Nope. Some pretty good draws, though. Send in the Pest, their last card out of their hand. Drop the Bletch. And the life gain triggers are going to go hard.
I can heal you.
If they top deck removal, we're in a really bad position, but if not, Bletch is just going to kill them. This is like their turn to draw a removal spell. If they top deck removal the turn after this, like, we got this. But if it's like the immediate removal for Bletch, it's gnarly. Okay, Raise Dead is fine. Cheerful Osteomancer is fine. Pick up their Conciliator, and we just Bletch it up. Okay. Let's... Still only one blue source. I think I got a Deduce over Slight and draw both of my top 2 cards. Banish and Betrayal, that's a good one. Can't cast it here, though. I don't have the blue. Let's draw another card.
Show me
Don't
what
have the
you've
blue.
learned.
Do I have enough cards to finally let them kill Delian? See, to play a Conciliator, they could attack Delian with both. I've got a 7 toughness thing up here. I think I play like this. It's like they could kill Delian if I get to eat one of their creatures. The second blue source, we can cast 2 spells next turn. There's Conciliator's Duelist. Draw another card. Fingers crossed, nothing that targets a creature. The repartee would be so bad. No attacks. Third blue source. Absolutely love to see it. The ward is discard a card on that. I don't really want to discard another blue source, but could be worth it to force the recast here. Should probably just sleight of hand before anything else and see what we're doing. Actually, what if I just sack Delian to kill Duelist? I could have lethal on board here. What am I doing? Let's just go for the lethal on board. Even if they have 1 removal spell, it's going to put us really far ahead.
This
might have 1 removal spell. If they had 1 removal spell, I think they should have cast it right then, though, because then they could flicker Conciliator's Duelist in response off of the trigger. Okay, there's the concession from our opponent. We're thinking too hard for them, taking too long. They're just tired of it. We're already so far ahead from our Planeswalker. They are over that game. That's going to be 2-0 and in game 3. All right, here we are on the play for game number 3. Certainly hoping for a slower matchup again. I think that's going to be a constant for this slower deck. We've got whatever color we need as long as they can't blow up the Potioner's Trove, which is kind of a big reason I'm keeping this hand. We only have the 1 Potioner's Trove in the whole deck, so having access to it in an opener is pretty excellent. We are playing against Lorehold, at least playing the red-white dual land over there. Drawn to a Noxious Newt, that's an excellent draw. They are Jeskai now, blue, red, and white. There's a Goblin Glassrite to give them a treasure token. I could cast Bletch, or I can cast Potioner's Trove, but I can't cast both. Oh, wait, no, I can't cast Bletch. What am I talking about? I don't have the black source until I play the Trove. We have no choice. Okay, send in the Glassrite. We go to 18. They drop a Rubble Rouser. So far, they're just pure Prismari, just blue and, well, out of what they've cast, pure blue and red. But they do have a Fields of Strife for white. We are not under that much pressure. I think I'm in a perfectly fine spot to just Omens them for 4. All right. Pensive Professor, Mountain, Glassrite, and Strife Knight are the discards. They play a land for turn and get a treasure. Send in the Glassrites. Take another 2. Dreamroot Cascade is the draw. Let's see if Prismari sticks around. Or if that last card in hand they kept is a removal spell. If not, Prismari's going to finish this game in just 3 attacks. Very quickly, very cleanly. Echo Casting Symposium is the card that they kept. The big mythic that duplicates one of their creatures every single turn for the rest of the game. But that is, interestingly and helpfully, not removal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could cast Bletch and Run Behind, and the Run Behind would be for 2 creatures. Thanks to the Storm. I could cast a Lewin and the Pest thing, and the Pest would be for 2 1/1s. I think I'm going to go Bletch Run Behind here. The only awkward part about this is that I could Run Behind in response to them targeting one of their creatures next turn, so they don't get a clone of that, but then I don't get the Storm anyway. So either way, I'm kind of dealing with 2 creatures. I think I'm just going to let them keep the token here. Just be pretty happy if they put anything on top anyway, so they're probably putting everything on the bottom regardless. And the token I can kill with any of our bounce spells. We have like 3 different bounce spells in this deck. So I think it's best to use the Run Behind to tuck away the ones that we can't kill with like Vanishing Verse or not Vanishing Verse, Banishing Betrayal. Keeping card names in mind is kind of difficult. There's the 4 mana thing that bounces and you grab a land as well. That could kill the token. Alright, there's an Elemental Mascot. Ooh! Try to Storm with a Traumatic Critique. Is this an instant? Oh, it's an instant. Oh, I hope they cast some spells here. Then we can Storm off of them casting spells next turn. They cast at least 1. No blocks is... Oh, yeah, it's because they need to duplicate mascots. I was going to say no blocks is bold. But nope, that's just definitely how they play it. Alright, Storm count 1. Storm count's already enough to be lethal. I think even through a removal or a counterspell. Blue, red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. It's not lethal through a counterspell yet. Now it's lethal through a counterspell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus it would have to be a 0 mana counterspell regardless. 15 damage. Sick work from Prismari. Although, really important to mention also, sick work from Arcane Omens there. That discard 4 was massive. And then they had to keep only 1 card in hand, and they just kept their Big Bomb Mythic, did not have any removal interaction from that point on because of the big old Arcane Omens, and it's going to let Prismari ride that game to victory. That is 3-0 heading into Game 4. Okay, here we are on the draw for game number 4. This is a really, really slow hand. It has to be a mirror match for us to have any chance, but we have all 3 of the main colors here and draws to get to the red. This is like an insta-scoop against Silver Quill or Lorehold. No, that's white. That's the aggressive color. Okay, maybe it's not an insta-scoop. Our first draw of the game is good in this matchup. Cheap removal spell that gains us a life. But Silver Quill, not the matchup we want to see for this hand. Draw land this turn. Two, 3 menace, no other particularly relevant abilities. I'm tempted. I'm really tempted to not grapple here. But against this color pair, we just need the game to go along and we should have bigger late game. So I'm just going to blow the grapple with death early, even if that creature's not that scary. Just to buy us time. Because the alternative is casting absolutely nothing. Well, that's going to pan out poorly. Because they follow up with Conciliator's Duelist. The second Conciliator's Duelist in like 2 games. Alright, well, we let them draw another card here so that we can get the red for critique. We do this while they're tapped out so they can't just flicker it in response. they've got a 1-mana combat trick to protect it, that's going to be rough. In fact, that's just going to be game-winning. Grave Researcher. Oof, the double bomb. The triple bomb. 3 rares. Got too much to say, but yikes. Cast Lewin and go for Vibrant Outburst here to kill the Grave Researcher. Before they draw a card for turn. I'm tempted to do it while they're tapped out, but then I don't get the tapping value. I guess I've got a 3/4 blocker up for the 2/2 if they don't removal spell it anyway. I mean, they're a color pair that can benefit from playing combat tricks, so them being able to maybe combat trick protect Researcher from Vibrant Outburst is a big deal. I think I will just Outburst now. Rather than getting value out of the tap ability. Oh, here comes combat trick. Whee. Maybe they at least tap out a Conciliator's Duelist for it if it's the black trick. Yep. Okay, okay. This is bad. Traumatic Critique does have card draw attached to its removal spell ability, so we're under enough pressure. I'm maybe just killing Enthusiast and hoping to draw into a second way to kill Conciliator's Duelist. Blue, red, 1, 2, 3. I could cast that and deduce. Arcane Omens is not for this matchup, that's for sure. Go to 10. There's Conciliator's Duelist again. Potioner's Trove. Potioner's Trove is actually good in this matchup, but that is nothing to target creatures, so... Looking really dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have 3 mana up for interaction. I really don't have a lot of interaction for 3 or less. We've got a 4 and a 6 mana removal still. Multiple, because we have Professor Delian at 4 mana and the bounce spell at 4 mana. We've got Homesickness at 6. I can do this and still have 6 up if I draw 1 card instead of 3. If I'm drawing 3, the only thing I can find is Grapple with Death or Run Behind or Banishing Trail. There's 3 outs. But again, I'm digging 3 times as far. Yeah, and the land that it plays comes out tapped, so even if I hit a land off of it, that doesn't work. This could be wrong, but I'm going to do the draw 1. Find a newt. Don't have the mana to do anything else with this newt. But I'm dead if I don't play it. I'm also dead if they have removal. Okay. Brutal. Just an incredible Silver Quill deck here, and we kept a hand that really wanted to play against something slower. But I think even if we had a hand that was like decent against aggro decks, their deck is really, really good. Oh, they accidentally last gasped actually in the end step. Because they did it in the end step, we're not quite dead here. Because they couldn't attack with Duelist here. They would have had to do that in the main phase. They have Silver Quill too? Alright. It is completely irrelevant. My lord. Postmortem Professor, Silver Quill, Conciliators, Duelist, Grave Researcher, Double Last Gasp for early removal, the Elite Interceptor for the best common in Silver Quill. That is an incredible deck, and that is going to kick us out of our win streak. We are now 3-1, heading into game number 5. Here we are for game 5. Really nice opening hand. Terramorphic can grab the blue source to cast some early draw spells to make sure we hit any lands to where we can play the Paradox Surveyor. And then we just keep playing everything. We've got draw spells, we've got cards that pick up lands, we have ways to ramp up lands with Proctor's Gaze. We will hit all of our colors here and keep hitting land draws with a hand like this. It's exactly what we want to do in the early game. Okay, I'm going to be mana efficient here and play the 2 mana draw spell over the 1 mana one. Playing against Sultai stuff, they're holding up a counter spell here rather than slamming in with the Channeler, or maybe a removal spell. Find a Bletch. Don't have the black source for that, but I wouldn't want to cast it anyway. We could play around a counterspell here by going Sleight of Hand plus Crack the Clue. I don't really need the 3/3 blocker that much, and I also don't need to draw land off Surveyor right now. So I think we're pretty chill to actually go Sleight of Hand, Crack a Clue here against a bunch of open mana. Find a Potioner's Trove. Could be their own draw spell here. 3 mana, draw 2. Nope, Visionary's Dance. Cycle that away. They're a 5-color deck as well. They've got the Hydro Channelers to fix for their instants and sorceries, though, which is great. No Hydro Channelers in this sealed pool. Potioner's Trove. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. We might have a Hydro Channeler. If we do, we should probably run it in here. Find a mountain off that draw. So stock up. I definitely want to ramp up one way or another. If I ramp up with Trove, I'm not casting anything else this turn anyway. I think I'm going to ramp up with Proctor's Gaze, grab the Sweep. Additive Evolution. Our bounce spells are really good against that, but obviously we just cast one of them, so we don't have any more in hand. 6 mana this turn. Play Trove and then Delian away the token. Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Mediocrity will not be tolerated. I knew you were unprepared.
Fractal Tender. That's a really good combo with Additive Evolution. Wow, yeah, that's pretty gross. Oh, that's a huge yikes. I just need to sack Delian here. Turn Delian into double removal. Oh, I can't. It's a -3. That's a huge yikes. Protect Delian. Draw a card. And obviously, if Delian sticks around, we can blow up Fractal Tender next turn with Delian. Delian probably not going to stick around. It's 2 4/4s attacking Delian. I could chump one of them, and Delian still dies. If they use Additive Evolution on the Fractal token. They might use it on Fractal Tender again, and then I could chump and still have a 1 loyalty Delian. Nope, they're just going to get the kill here. Fair enough. At least that means no bonus Fractal this turn, and I don't have to chump.
Death didn't stop me before.
There's a Sonar. Embrace the Paradox is the draw. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, 9 mana. I need 10 to Prismari and stock up in the same turn. I'm going to take a hit for this, but I could go Embrace the Paradox. So that I know that I get some Prismari Storm value the turn I play them. I want to tap out a red here. I've got another black and a green, so we can do this. Oh, I guess I tapped out a grapple, though, without using Trove. It's a little awkward. Although the main thing I want to kill has Ward 2 anyway. But we can kill Sonar before they can cast Wild Ride, which is also a big deal. I could play Prismari and grapple with Death next turn. Again, the ward is an issue, though. If I stock up now, then next turn Prismari grapple with Death, that's something. Sure. Another grapple with Death. Homesickness or Proctor's Gaze? I'll go Homesickness. Ooh, get the increment on the Fractal Tender, so they don't even have to use Additive Evolution on it then. The amount of cards they've drawn, they almost definitely have removal for Prismari in hand, but we get a guaranteed little bit of value the turn we play it. Vibrant Outburst is the draw. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? I could Traumatic Critique for... Oh no, I can't triple red here. I can't play 3 red spells in one turn. Never mind. I was gonna say I could Traumatic Critique for 0 just to add to the storm count. Because I go Prismari, then Traumatic Critique, draw 4, discard 2, and then Vibrant Outburst for 3 times. But I can't actually do that. So I'm just going to play Prismari and grapple with Death. And then I can also gain the 2 life. Sonar. 5/5. Because I don't have ward mana here. Okay, if they somehow don't have a way to blow up Prismari, then we do win this game. We storm off hard next turn. But they're like a 5-color deck, so they have every removal spell in their entire sealed pool. Yep. I think this is the best Fractal Tender I've seen in my life. What are they reading Prismari for? There it goes. I don't know why it was highlighted so long. Run behind is the draw. Got 13 cards left. I don't even think I have enough cards to turn around a game against this additive evolution at this point. I don't really have more finishers left in my deck. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Critique them for 9. Outburst them for 3. Get them to 16. I gotta try to go like direct face burn. I don't even know if I have enough mana. That's probably our out though, is somehow getting these to stack into 19. This is gonna be a homesickness here. All right. Arcade opens their hand away, although they're probably just playing it pretty much all right now anyway. That's 2 more creatures off of that one spell. Oh wow, we are never going to burn them out. They have a Potioner's Trove here too, gaining 2 whenever they want. They only have 1 card in their hand for this Arcane Omens. We have no way to blow up the Composer, which is making another creature. Shoot them in the face for 10, but we didn't open any ways to bring instants or sorceries back from our grave. The only spells left in our deck are a Bounce spell, 2 Send in the Pests, a Lewin, and a Proctor's Gaze, and there's no combination of that that stacks into 19. However, we draw from here. Yeah, I mean, they've just got it. We mill out first 2. Can't make them draw any more cards anyway. Rough. Fractal Tender plus Additive Evolution. That is a really good combo. 3 and 2 it will be. That's honestly still better than I thought this deck was going to do. I'm not a big fan of the sealed pool. It has some strong rares, but it doesn't have really good fixing to fit them all together into the one deck. We did manage to play most of the good rares together, which was nice, but there's not a ton of those late game finishers. If they do like find a way to kill the Prismari, we just kind of run out of ways to kill them here. Yeah, I'm more than happy with a 3 and 2 for this. I don't think there was any good streamlined 2-color deck in the sealed pool. They were all very, very mediocre, so I think this mush pile soup thing is kind of the best thing that we could get going, and it did pretty good. Won more games than it lost here. Got killed by the kind of dream Silver Quill deck with tons and tons of on-color rares. That was obviously going to be a pretty bad matchup, an aggressive strategy that is really streamlined. And then the final loss there, of course, the additive evolution combo working really well. Maybe if we had just given up and like spent an entire turn just grappling that fractal tender earlier, maybe there was more of a shot at that point. We definitely could have played that game out a bit differently. I think there was no chance we were ever winning the Silver Quill game, but maybe the very final loss, there were some different lines that could have worked to stop the Fractal Tender thing from getting too much value too early to stop us from recovering in the late game. Yep, that's a possibility. Fine deck here, solid run for it. 3 and 2 will be the final record for today's video. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.